Okay, start in the child's pose. Let's do our thing. Yeah, and this is like a private because I've got a couple of them here. Yeah. This is why this is so much better of a setup than doing it like in a park because you just don't know. Like you could get stuck in a jam that you just need to. Right. So child's pose. Let the knees go wide. Let the forehead rest on the ground. Unless you're on the carpeting of a hotel floor, you may like finagle a little. Slide the hands a little bit more forward. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Take a full breath out. And just feel your seat really drop back. So that's your butt. Feel the spreading of your lower back. And anchor through your hands as you activate your arms. Slow your mind down. If we've learned anything about this practice, slow your thoughts and allow yourself to just be. Just move through the motions. Sometimes you feel a lot, sometimes you just need to do a little. Curl the toes into the mat with your arms straight, anchor the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So come into this first dog. Take your hands as wide as the mat. Yeah, look at your hands. It's good to check in and make sure the index fingers are forward. Bend behind your knees as much as you need. And keep your feet about hips width distance. Let your head just be free. And then pick a spot to focus on, also known as the drishti in the practice. And I find sometimes throughout the process of the practice or just in the beginning or the middle or the end, the drishti can shift. So maybe it's hard to focus. Maybe it's easy to focus. Just start to pay attention to that. It's kind of neat to see and explore. And maybe your knees need to stay very bent. That's okay. Spread the toes really wide, and that's going to anchor the back side of the body more. Looks good. Roll forward to plank. So from down dog to plank, it should be a pretty natural movement, but for the first one, sometimes you need to kind of walk it out a little. And then when you get to this plank, this first one, check in and see, okay, holding up my body may need a little support. So you can always drop your knees and support the movement. Your gaze is to the front edge of the mat. And feel in plank like you're leading with your chest. It's kind of a good way to think about it. So you think like pulling your chest forward, but not jutting your neck forward. Yeah, that's good, Amy. Perfect. Plug down. Feel your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger, and then activate your thighs. Yeah, feel the sides of your legs hug in, feel your ankle bones hug in, and then lengthen a little more. Find more space from the crown of the head to your heels and then vice versa. Hold. Inhale your breath. Exhale your breath. Maintain. Take another giant breath in. Lower all the way down to your belly, all the way down like a pancake. Let the forehead rest. Reach your arms back like a set of airplane wings. Anchor the hands down. Activate your feet and lift just your chest 2 or 3 inches, not your neck. So just lift your chest. Press the palms, so flip your hands, Amy, around. Yeah. Broaden across the upper shoulder blades, and then keeping your hands down, lift just your feet. Yes, so the chest, the collarbone, the shoulder blades, and the feet, but the hands anchor you. Good, lower the feet down, slide your hands close to where your belly button and your ribs meet. So you're setting up right here for a baby cobra. Good, pause here, activate your legs, and lead with your chest as your hands, your thumbs, your index fingers, your baby fingers press firm. So you're just in a little baby cobra. Curl the toes into the mat, press up to a chaturanga, to a plank, and then downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Roll forward to plank position. Yeah. Lower halfway down to a chaturanga or support. Any of those movements we just did are welcome. Lead with your heart and chest for your first version of upward facing. You could take that baby cobra, activate your legs. Yeah. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. It's good to be reminded of different movements and different variations of the flow. One more time, roll forward plank. Halfway down, I'm just doing these micro push-ups. They work great. And then I lead with the chest for the up dog or baby cobra. Tracy's got that going on here, the baby cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. And just feel for a second. Feel your body as it arrives. And then look to the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there. 1, 2. Sometimes it's not so easy. Long spine, keep the weight forward. My feet have a little separation, but they can come together. Exhale, fold in half, let the head go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms and just stand for a second. Good. Root to rise, arms go up. Look up with your eyes. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Set yourself up here. 2 big steps to get you back to a version of plank that works. 1, 2. Yeah. Then you lower halfway down to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through your version of up dog or baby cobra. Yes, because we don't want to go into our lower back. Breathe the chest open. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. So we're kind of getting the cobwebs out. Look where we want to go. Step, step, or float to the top. Long spine. Weight stays forward. Hands can also just slide to your shins, Amy. Yes. And then dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Reach up with your arms, look up. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare yourself. Step, step to plank. The days of jumping back are so long gone. Yes, like I just don't even care. It's chaturanga. Upward facing, point the toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Each one starts to feel a little better. And if it's not, just keep telling yourself that. Breathe. Look to the top, step, step, or float to get there. Long spine prepares you. Exhale, folds you. Root to rise, come all the way up. To the prayer center we go. Arms drop. Again, why not? Arms reach up. Dive over those bent knees so the weight comes forward. These look good. Long spine prepare. Step, step, or float to your version of a vinyasa. Upward facing is smooth. Nice dab. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. We'll just do one more. Deep breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine to prepare you. Exhale, we fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms, just connecting. Reach up. Dive again over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step, or float through your version of vinyasa. Upward facing. Anchor the legs, even in Cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing. So from your downward facing dog, roll forward to plank. Hug your right knee towards your navel. So I've been demonstrating this with a little higher hips just because of my neck. So you're welcome to play around with any of the things that I demonstrate or suggest. So you can hug in. The goal is to take your right knee towards your navel and kind of create a scooping out of your belly with your arms straight up and down. Back leg is strong and straight. Look forward with your eyes. Land your right foot smack in between your hands. Okay, smack in between your hands. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Amy, use this block. Oops. Okay, you're gonna place the block on the instep of your foot. Now play with, and if you don't have a block, because Patty's in a hotel room, you could do a pillow, or you could just rest your arm on your thigh. I'll give you all the modifications if you don't have a block. Go play with how high you want the block. Yeah. But the right palm goes down and you kind of caddy the back of your arms to bend deeper into your front leg. Yeah, and the left arm slides up. So there's a sensation kind of leaning back. Yeah. And then a strong, strong sensation of gripping your right hip in, which is the hardest part for most of us because we're really tight in our glutes and our outer hip. So scoop up that lower right hip. Turn your bottom right ribs towards the sky and reach up a little bit more with your top arm. If you feel inclined to do something with that top arm, like it doesn't feel good reaching up, your hand can go behind your head. Your hand can go to your hip. You can even take a half bind. I know it's early in the practice, but anything to make it feel good, right? Good, and then really anchor your legs, feel your hips gripping, and breathe your chest open. Stay a little longer, feel your feet spread wide. Spread your feet really wide wherever you are in this. Pull up warrior two and just spread your arms super wide. You're gonna feel some action in your legs. Yeah, a little burning. If you feel that your step needs to be a little bigger so you can get down a little lower, go ahead and drive down. So the tailbone lengthens to the ground. The arms are open nice and wide. I like the palms forward and the thumbs up, and then the side body can really lengthen. Breathe your left shoulder blade open. Yeah, and close your eyes 5 breaths if you can. Roll your right thigh open more and anchor and spread through your feet. Notice where you start to collect kind of negative energy in the posture. Drive down with your tailbone more towards the ground and your waist lengthening up. 2 more. Straighten your right leg on track. Take your hands to your hips, kind of kick that block, pivot the right toes in. So you guys are going to face towards the table. Hands are on your hips. Inhale the breath, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, you're going to bend your knees, you're going to fold. Now, as you come down into this wide straddle this morning, you may need to scoot your feet in a little closer if your head gets close. Go with ragdoll arms. Yes. And let your elbows get real heavy to the floor. Yeah, and let your waist kind of lift up and your spine drop down. And you may need to bend your knees like a lot. So I start to notice the longer I stay in the posture, my elbows get closer. So maybe the feet need to walk in a little bit more, or maybe you need a wire step. Keep rolling your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Good. Drop the hands down underneath the shoulders. Look forward with your eyes. Take your hands to your hips and at the same time, pull yourself up. From your right hip, keep the left foot where it is. Pivot the right foot out. So the right foot turns out, but your waist stays long. The arms open up nice and wide so you're centered over yourself. Pivot into a triangle pose. This is a great way to get in. Right hand to right shin, most likely. Left arm extends up. Bless you. There's all sorts of stuff flying around. I went for a run. I think I sneezed like 100 times this morning. Yes. Yeah. Great. Do you want an allergy pill? We'll give allergy medication during the yoga class. Lift up out of your waist. Things have changed. Yes. So you're just in a triangle pose and you're letting your ribs kind of hug in a little and your hips grip in and your feet spread wide and you're breathing your torso open. 2 more breaths. Look to the floor, circle both hands down into an easy twist. So walk your right foot to the right. I've been using a block for this. You just tent the fingertips and then peel open. Notice that your right hip wants to kind of push out, right. Grip the hip in strong and stack up the 2 shoulders the best that you can, like you're in a side plank. Sometimes having the right arm up feels kind of crummy. So you can have your hand on the flat part of your back and don't overdo it this morning. Activate your back leg. Yes. Squeeze all the muscles around the back kneecap and hold. Look to the floor, place both hands down, slide into a plank and pause. Pause and plank. You may just choose to hold plank or bend your elbows in half to a version of chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. Getting out is always the hardest part. Hug the left knee in. Once again, if you need to lift your hips a little higher to give yourself some movement here, then do that. Arms are still straight up and down and back right leg is super engaged. Scoop up the belly a little more. Look forward with your eyes, land your left foot smack in between your hands, turn the back foot strong, place a block to the instep of your foot and set up your B variation from the ground up. Yeah. So if you don't have the block, you just use your arm on your thigh. This is one of the best ways to open your hips. Yeah, these look really good. There's like a little leaning back action. There's a gripping in of your left hip and a turning of your bottom ribs, and then you look up. And then you decide what you want to do with your right arm. Maybe it feels really happy reaching up, or your hand can go behind your head, or your hand can come to your hip, or you can wrap it around into a little bind. Whatever feels good. So yeah, sometimes when the shoulders are tight, it actually just feels better to move the arm back. Yes, exactly. And then breathe. Breathe your chest open, maybe look up if you can. Spread your toes a little wider. Get heavy in your legs without too much bounce. Pull up warrior two. Warrior two. So believe it or not, if you really use your back arm more, it's going to help straighten you out. Lengthen your tailbone, turn your inner thigh open. There you go. Drive down into the mat. Breathe. Breathe across the center line of your body. It's a pretty powerful pose. Close your eyes and let yourself just check out, or rather check back in with the pose. Just a few breaths. Just feel. Pay attention to the little things, like you're not gripping everything so tight to hold yourself up. Straighten your left leg on track. Take your hands to your hips. If the block's there, just kind of kick it to the center. Pivot your feet forward. Inhale your breath, lift your heart and your chest. Exhale, bend your knees and come down one more time. The opposite, if you could remember what you took, good luck. Yeah. Walk your feet in a little if you feel like your flexibility has gained some success here. Yeah, sometimes we're a little bit surprised. Definitely bend your knees as much as you need. Let your head drop. Get heavy in the upper torso so you can really begin to feel your body just letting go. Keep the weight distributed a little bit more forward. Release the bind. Bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Hands to your hips. Come halfway up. Good. Pivot your left toes. Yep, come the rest of the way up. And then pivot your left toes from your hip. Open up your arms wide and set up here for triangle. Soften behind your left knee as you pivot down. Slide your hand to your shin or your block for Trikonasana triangle pose. These look great. Grip your hips in strong. Good. There's like a little leaning back feeling, like spreading of your toes. And it's all about just finding space. Look to the floor, circle the right hand down, walk the left foot to the left and set up for an easy twist. Right hand can tense onto a block. So let your right toes pop towards the sky, Amy. There you go. Use a block, grip your left hip in strong. I definitely go for a block. Activate your back leg. So what happens in any of these twists is we want to make sure we're not twisting into our lower back. So that's why the block is helpful, because it's going to help you stabilize your body. Stack the two arms. Grip the left hip in a little more and twist open. Breathe your upper shoulder blade open. Look to the floor, plank position. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing slides you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pause in your down dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine. Fold over your legs. Sit into a chair. Weight into your heels. Our least favorite posture. Something about this pose that just makes people just very unhappy. Try taking it with your feet apart. Yeah, I've been taking it with a little separation, and then I'm able to get down and even just using my thumbs and kind of dragging myself back, but lifting the chest open. Try that. Fold over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Long spine, prepare. Step or float through a vinyasa. Step, step. Maybe you skip the vinyasas, maybe just go to a dog. When you get to your down dog, land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one, come on up. So turn your back toes, Amy, more towards the sliding glass door. Yeah, and then your left ribs can spin forward as your arms reach up. Yeah, hands down, plank position, through a vinyasa or not. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Step your left foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back foot strong. Yeah, there you go. And then come up. So there's a gripping of your left hip, but a spinning of your right side forward. And then press through the blade of your back foot, helps. Hands come back down through a vinyasa, or you just go to a down dog, whatever you're feeling. You can make it as kind of chill as you need. Downward facing dog. Good, look where you wanna go. Step or float to the top, land lightly. Sometimes it's more like a drop, stop, and roll. Long spine, fold, sit into a chair. Stick your butt all the way back. Yeah. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Here we go. Everyone looks really serious here. Chair pose, yes. Why Sasha's sitting inside probably eating like the entire bag of candy that I brought from last night. She's polishing that stuff off. Dive over, bent knees forward, folds, let the head go. Long spine, prepare. Step or float to a chaturanga. I guess you can only be 7 once. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. So now you're just going with it. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. So you take enough time to get in and feel like you're doing it right. These look good. Bring it back down at your own count. Take what you need here. If you love push-ups, you can take extra. If you don't love them, you skip them. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Back down we go. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing. Pause in your down dog, breathe. Good, look where you wanna go. Step or float to the top. Long spine prepares you. Exhale, we fold, let the head go. Sit again into chair. Weights in your heels. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer. I'll cut you some slack, just one more, okay? Chair, here we go. Some of you I know don't love these. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let the head go. Long spine allows you to prepare, step or float through the vinyasa. Up dog drags you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Secure the feet position first, then come up. Back down we go, vinyasa or not. Upward facing point. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. We're moving and grooving here. Back down we go, through a vinyasa. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one, and we hold. Alignment looks good. Yeah. We're getting warm out here. Yeah. I'm getting warm too. Yes, it works. The stuff works. So you're in warrior one position. What I want you to do is bring your arms forward like you're handing someone a tray of something. But notice when you do that, like your whole body wants to lean forward. So you're just going to stay very upright. Your arms are reaching forward. Yeah. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. I don't know how this is with the shoulder, but you can always just give yourself a bear hug. Yeah. Try not to tug down. Ultimate goal is to kind of lift up so you can get into the upper thoracic spine. So bend deep into your standing right thigh, really bend. Pivot the left heel a little up off the ground, and then float your left leg up and wrap into an eagle. And it's gonna test the balance. So if the foot doesn't go all the way around, that's okay. Stick your butt back, weight is in the standing right heel, and you're squeezing tight down the center line of your body. Stay with it. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Unravel just your arms like you're in a chair. Unravel your left foot next to your right and sit into chair. You should feel something burning, cooking here. Hands to prayer at heart. Breath in and then twist to the right. So this is another one. You can stay up and air twist if you feel like you're taking yourself out of alignment, you're nursing an injury. Focus on the lower half of the body. 2 knees, stay lined up side by side. So watch that left knee, Amy, that it doesn't slide forward. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Weight stays definitely back in your heels, and any way you're taking this, you should be able to pick your toes up off the ground and spread them wide. The waist is long, the spine is long, and you're twisting open through your upper thoracic. So your upper thoracic is from your belly button up, that part of your spine. That's where the most movement is. Keep the shape of your legs, pull around to a strong chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Split the feet apart, hip width distance, and just step your left foot back into a low lunge and pause. Just feel this for a second. You should feel that psoas, that back left leg, really lengthen. Grip your right hip in strong. Plant your palms directly down underneath your shoulders and slide back into a plank. Very slowly drop to your forearms for a forearm plank. Yeah. Breathe your chest through your body. Now the left arm can stay forward. It can go on a pivot. You're gonna roll onto the left side for a Vashisthasana side plank with your forearm down. Yes, so you're on your left forearm. Good, yeah, Debbie, that's great, because you can angle out the arm. It doesn't need to be completely forward. Sometimes it feels better to have it on an angle. The 2 feet can stack on top of one another, or they can be in front of one another, like the ladies here are doing. Breathe your top hip up. It's a lot of oblique strength. So very slowly, take your hips back down to the floor, your forearm back, forearm plank. One palm at a time back to a plank position. Do it slow. If you want, bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. It's optional. Drag yourself through your up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong. Warrior 1 on the left side, we come up and hold. So the right side of the body needs a little movement. Yeah, so the hips need to be open enough. I know, we warmed up. It's perfect. Arms come forward like you're handing someone a tray of something. The activation of your triceps are important. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Rather than tugging down, lift your elbows up. So just do that much first. Yeah, and then start to bend deep into the standing left leg. And then pivot the right heel a little bit and then see if you can get the momentum to kind of wrap it around. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it's a hot mess. Weight is in your heels of your left foot. Squeeze everything very tight. Lift your elbows up. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. It's very helpful. And breathe. Stay with it. Squeeze a little bit more. Give it a little bit more oomph. Unravel just your arms. Keep bending into the standing left leg. Unravel your right foot to meet your left and sit deep into a chair. Slide your hands to a prayer. Maybe you need to split your feet apart. It may be helpful. Inhale the breath, exhale, begin to twist. Yeah, so know where you need to stop. I'm just staying upright and twisting this way. Perfect, Amy, that looks good because you're more aligned. Yeah, and watch the right knee. It has a tendency to like want to swing. It's coming from the hip. Perfect. Draw the belly in, twist open a little more. Keep the weight back into your heels. More breath to aid the feeling. Keep the weight in your heels. Pull around to chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Separate the feet to about 2 fists, 3 fists. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Keep the left foot where it is and just slide your right foot back. Pause. So after doing that, it feels good to stretch the psoas. Just be heavy in the legs for a minute. Take the hands flat down and see if you can slowly move back to a plank. Once you get to your plank, slowly bring one forearm at a time down. Now you're on your forearms. You can always drop to your knees. Lean onto your right forearm into a Vashisthasana side plank. Yeah. Angle out the arm so it works for you. Stack the feet. Yeah. You can always drop the bottom knee as well. This is the best type of core work, actually. Yeah, because you're really working strong into your obliques. Now, see if you can look up a little. Yeah. Stay with it. Very slowly, look down first with your eyes. Rotate slow to a forearm plank. Yeah. Lengthen your tailbone. And then one palm at a time, press to a plank. Do it slow. And then if you want, you can move through a vinyasa. You can just go right back to a down dog. It's up to you. Hips up and back, downward facing. Have a block at the top of the mat. If you have a block, if not, you're gonna have to make do. Step your right foot forward into a low lunge again. Grip your right hip in strong. Slide your block the appropriate height that you need for half moon. You can also go to the wall here. You can lean up against the wall. Grip your right hip in strong and reach your left arm up. There you go. Keep your hand on your hip for as long as you need. It may even be there the whole time. It takes a good few breaths to kind of catch it. Lift from your inner thigh, spark up your left toes, and then grow the pose how you wish. Maybe it's adding in, maybe it's just securing and holding on. Maybe it's restarting in the posture. Yeah, lean back a little bit more towards Tracy and see if you can open up your chest a tiny bit, Amy. Keep gripping your right hip in. It's like Tadasana on the standing right leg. Look to the floor, square your hips off and pause. Yeah, slide your block now underneath your left hand. Place it there. Right hand comes to the flat part of your back and set up for revolved Ardha, but it's a very slow movement. Keep your right foot forward, keep gripping your right hip in. I just have my hand on the flat part of the back, and then I just start to look right a little bit. And think warrior 3. You can even just take warrior 3 amended if adding the twist doesn't feel good for you. Flex the back foot strong and lift from your inner left thigh. You find extension through your waist. Give it a little bit more juice. Stay with it. Look down. Right hand comes down. Step your feet together at the top of the mat. Slide your hands to your hips. Come up to stand. Lean onto, stand on your left leg and bend your right leg up into Vrksasana tree pose. I know, I'm testing the balance. Tree could look like this. Doesn't matter. The camera's not on you. Yeah, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. Hands to prayer. So use the pose to ground yourself. It really is tremendous. And then if you want to grow the branches, you can, but sometimes it takes this out. You can look up a little with your eyes. Think about the lower half of the body like it was in that extended side angle, how you grip your hips in really strong. It's the same action of events here. Lift from your waist and breathe. And enjoy the kind of like moving in it. Right, we anticipate to fall out in every balancing pose. Stay with it. Hands to prayer. Step down, feet together. Sit into a chair, very deep. Lower all the way down so you come into Bottanavasana. I'm going to demonstrate Bottanavasana. This is a great way to take it. Slide your hands out, guys. I'll move the blocks so my at-home friends can see. Slide your palms out in front of you. Yes, and your arms are straight. You definitely need to bend your knees. Get over the idea of those legs are going to be straight. Yes. Now, grip the sides of your body in. And with those bent legs, focus on your torso, keeping the lift of your torso. So you can really breathe your chest open. The legs can be very bent. Press your hands firm. You can even try tented hands. Yeah. Because some people's arms are shorter, some are longer. So you may have palms flat, you may have tented fingers, but keep lifting, keep lifting. Draw the belly in, soften the shoulders. You feel that in your core? Good, hold. Hold, hold. Good, last 5 breaths. Maintain. You can bring your arms up if you want to really activate things more, but don't go into your lower back. You got it. Reach your arms forward, cross your ankles, step or float through a vinyasa, or just crawl. Upward facing. So the yoga practice is not so graceful. The people who pike up and make it look pretty, there's only a few of those. Glide your left foot forward, low lunge, and pause. Set up yourself for a solid half moon. Take your time getting in. Yeah, grip your hip in strong and float yourself up here. If you need to go to a wall, go to the wall, Patty. Yep, or lean against the bed. Yeah. Stack the 2 arms. And really focus on just keeping this simple. Flex your top foot strong, lift from your inner thigh, stack your body neatly and nicely. And then breathe your chest open. And if you fall out, just come back to us. You join us again. About now, you want to check out, stay a few more breaths. Eyes to the floor, right hand down. Don't let the leg drop, just square the hips and slide the block over so it goes directly underneath the right hand. Slide your left hand to the flat part of your back. You got it. Keep gripping your left hip in strong. Lift from your inner right thigh and go into a version of revolved Ardha that works. It may just be both hands down or balancing on something, more of a warrior 3. So long spine, breathe your chest open. These look great. Flex your back foot like you're stamping on a wall. Yeah, twist open. Stay with it. Look down, both hands come down. Line your feet up side by side at the top. Hands to your hips, come all the way up. Good, lean onto the right leg now, bend your left leg in half into a tree. Tree can look like anything. Yeah, it can look like this. Hands to prayer. Grip the hips in strong. Great. And then grow the branches if and when you were ready. Pick a spot to focus on. Grip your hips in strong. Yeah. Stay with it. The imperfections make it fun and interesting. Lift up a little bit more with your waist. Two more. Hands to prayer. Step down. Reach up big, look up with your eyes, dive over bent legs, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine, step or float through a vinyasa one more time. Upward facing drags you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your right foot forward for crescent lunge. Grip your hips in strong, sweep your arms up. Hip points are forward, back leg is strong. You can always drop the knee too. Hands to prayer. Lean out in front of you, hook the elbow and get in there. Yeah. So want to align the crown of our head. Ideally, these look really good with the back of your left foot. So lean back a little to get in there. Perfect. You can knuckle your hands. You can even just take the bottom hand into a flat and the top hand into a knuckle and see if you can get your shoulder blade to open a little more. Keep gripping those hips in strong. We're staying in these poses a little longer, really feeling what's happening, all sorts of stuff. Anger, frustration, sadness, excitement, joy. And then at the end, it's joy to get out. Breathe. So they're not on mute here. I could hear them if they yell out and curse. I can't hear you guys on the other end. 2 more. Look down, place both hands down, pause. Left hand firm, roll into the outer blade of your back foot. So what's going to happen here is you're going to go into a version of side plank. If you had a toe hook, you can hook the big toe and extend the leg up. I'm not about to show it on the side because of my shoulder. Top leg can go into a tree pose. Side plank with a tree, modified side plank, toe hook. Just do another side plank, Deb. Yeah, you can take that top leg and bend it in half too. Perfect. Lift from your bottom hip. So I don't know how you're feeling this, but what you can do now is lift your right foot an inch from the ground, Tracy. See what happens. There you go. Now you're working your core. Good work. Yep. Let it go through a vinyasa. Meet me in a down dog. Subtle movements change the practice. Downward facing dog. Left foot lands, back heel stays lifted. Come on up, crescent lunge. The practice is about making yourself feel good, feel empowered. Come on up. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Lean out a little and then hook and twist. Yeah. Back leg is super strong. Scissor the inner and outer thighs together and really use the back leg kind of as the anchor. Open up the chest. You can knuckle the 2 hands. You can have one palm flat and the other hand in a knuckle. Sometimes that's successful. You can open up your arms. Keep gripping that left hip in strong though, and continue to activate your back right thigh. Engage it. Squeeze all the muscles around the glute and the hamstring. Hang on. A little more breath. So create the illusion that you're leaning back a tiny bit and then see if you can twist open a little bit more. Look down, plank, pause, lean onto your right hand. So you can just slide this left leg. This is another version where the top leg is bent. You can stack the 2 feet. You can hook the big toe and extend the leg up. You can go into a tree pose. Any version of a side plank that you're working your core and your upper body. Good, and then try it on that side. Even if it's just a micro inch from the ground, it's gonna create all the oblique muscles to really zip up. Lift a little higher, maybe look up a little. Let it go through a vinyasa or just go to a dog, depending on how you feel. When you get to your down dog, like exhale all the breath out and then drop to your forearms one more time today for a dolphin pose. Yeah, so your forearms come down. Or you could just stay in a dog. If that doesn't feel good for your neck or shoulders, you're just gonna hold a down dog. So this is an opportunity to kind of invert, but not a lot of us have like a strong handstand or forearm stand. So what we do is just trying to create the essence of it. So if you're in a dolphin pose, creep your feet in a little tighter to you. Yeah. Or if you're just in a down dog, you're welcome to just hold. So what we'll do is we'll float our right leg up, only hip height in either of these options, just hip height. And just breathe. Breathe your inner thigh up. Breathe your back leg open. And let your head be free. Keep pressing down. Lower the right foot smoothly. Secure it to the ground. Lift your left leg up, only hip height. For some reason, you're going up into an inversion. Give it your best go here. Lower the left foot. Pause and hold wherever you are. 5 more breaths. If you're in a form version of this, press up into your hands for a down dog. Yeah, good work. Stay with it. Glide forward to a plank. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Lead with your chest for a nice opening, up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Slide your right knee forward for a half pigeon. You work for it. Yeah. Good. And then let yourself just fold into half pigeon here. You let yourself melt. Keep the left thigh and the top of the left foot down. That's the best advice.
Summer passed by before I got back. Hear sunset, meet sunrise. No more long days down, no more prize fight now. Cut down on the drink and squeeze, no more surprise. I see her way to you, covered it from A to Z, with a look so heavenly. She's no longer busy.
No longer.
Outside the window, they only know where they've been, where they're going to. They pass on by, steady in their gait. Pass by each other, so much as
So come up nice and slow, but keep your right leg where it is. Yeah. And swing your left leg forward. So it's going to look like this. So your right knee is bent and your left foot is in front of your shin. Yeah. And you're not sitting on your right foot. Your two butt cheeks are firm on the ground. And just hug the left shin in towards your chest. You got it. Everyone at home's got it. Yeah, perfect. And just sit up really tall. So what's going to happen here is use your right hand as a kickstand behind you. So my fingers are facing the back of the mat and my hand is close to my low back. So I stay upright. I'm going to hook my big toe. I'm going to extend my leg out. Hooking the toe doesn't feel good. You can grab the outside of the foot. You could use a strap. You can also just rest your calf in your hands. What we don't want is to lean back. We want to be in our core and breathe into our hamstring. You got it. Good. You're going to switch the grips. You're going to grab the outer blade of your foot and the hand's going to go behind you, the same place. You're going to look over the left shoulder. You got it. Yes, it just switches. Kind of like a dancing Shiva, but you're seated. Good. And make sure you're not leaning back. You want to stay really upright. Good. Pull around to center. Grab behind your thigh, lift your chest. So it looks like this. Now, stay with this if this is enough. If you feel like it's going into your low back, pause and be here. If you want more, arms are going to reach forward. You're like, I'm good. Flex your palms and hold. Lower the foot down, swing the leg behind you, step to a dog. When you get to dog, if you need to move through a vinyasa, that's cool. If not, just glide your left leg forward. It will feel good to do it. Half pigeon. And fold into half pigeon. So it's kind of neat when sometimes you take the poses that we normally do standing and we take them seated. Let your right thigh rest and the top of the right foot melt to the ground. Let yourself just kind of drift in and enjoy the quiet. Come up nice and slow. Lean onto the left side. Swing the right leg forward. So your right shin and your right foot is coming in front of your left shin. Two butt cheeks are down. Good. Left hand comes behind you at the base of your spine. You're going to hook the big toe or grab the outer blade of your foot. Either which way works. I'm going to go outer blade to that this time. See how that feels. It feels a little bit more secure, actually. Inhale the breath. You can also use a hand towel or a strap, or you can back out and just hold on to the leg. Good. So you want to breathe your chest open and really use your core muscles, but you're also feeling a tremendous stretch through your hamstring. Now you're gonna switch the grip. Grab the outside of your foot, the outside of your leg, take your right hand behind you, but lift up out of your waist. You got it, Amy. Perfect. Breathe. This should get you pretty good. The ones at home. I know everyone's tight. This is a good one. Come around to center, grab behind your thigh. Keep the lift of the leg and flex the foot. This is a good spot to stop. Soften the shoulders down the back and really be mindful. The leg can drop too. It's fine. I just have I'm showing it more lifted. Arms now reach forward if you want more. Flex the palms. Try it out. I see you limping tomorrow. I can't walk because your stomach's sore. You can blame it on me. Lift a little higher. Lower it down. So take the arches of your feet together. This is great. If you have a block or a pillow at home, place it the wrong direction. Take your feet on top of the block. Yeah. And play. Like some of us are different, proportioned a little different. I like my feet a little further forward, but some of you may like them closer. Inhale the breath. I use the backs of my elbows and then I fold and I butterfly forward here. And I'm not about like getting in so deep, but more about getting this external rotation and leading with the chest and really anchor the feet together. You should feel a really nice hip opener here, an outer thigh stretch. So play. If you don't feel that much, maybe move the block more forward. Yeah, or do it without the block, whatever. Good. Pull yourself up, move the block with you, take your feet directly to the floor and lay down. And as you lay down on your backs, we'll set up for bridge followed by wheel. Okay. Anchor the feet, lift the tailbone up, slide a block if you feel like you want more restorative, or clasp your hands underneath your low back. I also like to robot the arms. Yeah, so I'm creating tension with the backs of the triceps, but steering your feet forward and your inner thighs roll down and under. Great. Exhale the breath, lower down. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Repeating exactly what you just did or adding on. You can flip the palms over your shoulders if you want more, or just repeat. Giant breath in. Try and move on the exhale breath as you lift up. Good work. The lift is coming from the tailbone to the backs of the knees, and your neck is super neutral. Your feet are firm into the ground. Your thighs are lifting higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. Take a breath in, take a breath out. So if everyone has a block or a pillow, and you can do this without, lift the tailbone up and slide the block somehow underneath the low back. You can go the middle setting. The higher setting is going to give you more. So it's setting up for supported bridge here, but extending your right leg to the sky and then floating your left. Nancy, I saw you were already here, so you can just stay. And if you don't have a block, you would just have your low back flat and your legs lifted. It's the illusion of legs up the wall. And then close your eyes and turn your palms open. Yeah, so your shoulder blades melt into the mat. And you start to feel your core muscles engaged with your legs waver forward and back. That's the point. Flex your feet a little, but kind of like flex through the balls of your feet. Yeah, stay with it a little longer here. So the palms are open. Turn them with your eyes closed. The palms now go flat to the ground. Bend the right leg and take the foot flat. Bend the left leg, take the left foot flat. Lift the hips enough that you can remove the block out of the way. Hug your knees in evenly towards your chest. Reach down to the outer blades of your feet for a happy baby. Lengthen the tailbone. Soften the shoulders to the ground. Good. Draw your knees in one more time. Make a tight squeeze with your legs in towards your eyeballs. Reach your arms forward like you're a cannonball into a pool. Flex your palms. Scoot your belly in towards the back of the spine. Hover like this and hold. Slide your legs forward in any angle that work. Keep reaching your arms forward. Flex your palms. Hold. Shoulder blades are lifted. Neck is long. Feet are flexed. Palms are flexed. Hold. 5, 4, any angle with your legs that works for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Set up for Shavasana, complete rest. So we did enough postures today. Complete rest. Exhale all the breath out. Make yourself comfortable. Draw some attention to your fingertips and your toes. Start to wiggle them. Maybe now move your arms slowly up over the top of the head, like you're just waking up. Like you get 2 starts today. The one where you actually got up, and then this one, which is even better. Hug your knees to your chest. Give them a giant squeeze in. And in your own way and time, rock up to a seated position or however you're most comfortable to kind of seal your practice. So sit up nice and tall and just feel the effects of the movement that you did. Every day you come, it's going to be different. Sometimes you work really hard. Sometimes it's just like 50%, and that's okay. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Hands to prayer, bow your head, always gratitude, be grateful. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. For those that joined me in person and those that joined us from afar, we'll see you next time.